And we are on the line this morning with Jeniffer Hargrave. And this is going to be an interesting conversation. Brought to you by Marcus & Mack, voted best personal injury law firm in the Best of Indiana County contest. Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. Jeniffer is with us this morning. She's a family law attorney. And we're talking here today about a really fascinating topic to me, and that is 42% of couples keep financial secrets from their partner. Jeniffer, good morning. That sounds kind of dangerous, doesn't it?
Good morning. Well, I will tell you, as a divorce attorney, I'm not surprised by that. Of course, the people I'm dealing with, that financial secrets are often what can lead to divorce. So that number doesn't surprise me.
Well, why? That is the big question. Or is it to hide some habit they have of overspending or gambling or things like that? Or is it what is behind it?
I think really at the root of it is an inability to communicate about difficult issues, right? So it's not unusual that opposites attract, spenders marry savers, but navigating that, how do you talk through those issues so you have a common plan, you have shared values around money? You don't have to see things the same. You don't have to, have the same ideas about what to spend money on. But how do you navigate that in a relationship? It's difficult. It's definitely challenging. And let's face it, a lot of us didn't grow up in households where there was healthy conversations about money going on. So I think really at the root of it is an inability to communicate. One spouse doesn't like the spending, the other spouse, is spending. And there's a lot of shame associated with that on both sides. There can be a lot of anger. It can be very hard for the spender to approach the saver with, there were 3 lattes they had in one day or something. But it's not always nefarious, right? It isn't always the gambling or the extramarital affairs or, booze or whatever behaviors that aren't approved. Sometimes it is, for sure. That can definitely be a reason why somebody's hiding spending.
I think there is one little charming aspect of it. 19% of people in this survey have a secret savings account. Maybe they're just saving up to spring something nice on their honey. How about that?
Sure. I mean, that could certainly be a reason. It could be that you're working towards a vacation, an anniversary surprise or something like that. And, depending on different states, I just know where I'm at in Texas, there's nothing wrong with having your own accounts, especially when you're working and earning money. But we always need to remember that couples are fiduciaries. That means they need to be acting in the best interest of the marriage relationship and in the best interest of the other spouse.
Well, years ago, Jeniffer, at a funeral that I was performing, a gentleman came up to me afterwards and said, I like the message. I want to contribute to the church. I have my own account. My wife has her own account, and he wrote me a check for $5,000 to the church. And he said he'd never even been in a church before in his entire life. And he says, I don't know if my wife would approve of this or not, but here you go. That was a pleasant surprise for me. I don't know about what she might have thought about it, though.
Right. For some couples, keeping separate accounts is definitely a healthy thing. It's something they've discussed and something that they share together. And so there's nothing wrong with that. And that they're allowed to spend their own money, so to speak, without accountability to the other person. That could be a really healthy way to structure it, but it comes back to communication.
Yeah, it really does. Okay, so Jeniffer, I want to talk to you about this in the larger context of something called a sleep divorce, because this popped up as well. This is something that you can talk about with us today. What the heck is a sleep divorce?
That's a popular topic. So that's one where couples actually decide to sleep in separate rooms to not get a divorce. Divorce, right? Yeah. And like we were just talking, where opposites attract, oftentimes you have the night owl married to the morning person, or they have different work schedules, or, you have a snorer. Sometimes you have 2. And so sleeping in separate rooms can be a way to honor your partner by allowing them to get a good night's sleep. Mm-hmm. Of course, like we were talking about with the spending, if you're sleeping in separate rooms just to avoid the topic, then probably it's not the best, way to handle that. But if you're communicating about it and, your partner is assured that you love them and that you're just moving into the separate room so that they can get sleep, and then that could be a good thing as well.
It speaks to the very large issue of couples that learn to live together, and sometimes that's a more difficult process than it needs to be. But obviously, in that case, that's a couple trying to work out something that they have identified as a problem, and those are the couples that are going to have the most success, aren't they?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Those are the ones I don't see in my office. But I think that is really what marriage is. I think we don't talk enough about, what it takes. We kind of have a romantic ideal of what marriage is supposed to be. And then when it falls short of our expectations, we run to the divorce lawyer. And, that's too bad. We like to help people stay in a marriage if they can, and we always provide good resources for them because it is about working it out. Learning to live your life with another person has its challenges for sure. I think there are very few marriages that are, quote, easy in that regard. But it's the couples who, really make that the focus of learning and growing and learning how to be a better partner and to show up in better ways in the marriage relationship. That makes marriage worthwhile.
Years ago, there was that movie Enchanted, where at the beginning of the movie, there was the couple that was contemplating divorce, and they were together with their attorneys in the room, and they were trying to come up with a settlement so that they could separate. And through the charm of the princess, they found out that they can work it out. I don't guess that you've had many of those types of meetings where a magical princess comes by and helps to solve the marriage problem, but there are ways, aren't there?
Yeah, I have actually, and it is unusual for sure. By the time most people come to a divorce lawyer's office, they've made the decision that they want to get a divorce. But there are those couples when we sit down, and especially if we're doing like a collaborative divorce, and, we've got a mental health professional, we have a financial professional, we can help them really learn skills to resolve conflict, that they find out that they really don't need a divorce. I've had that happen on a number of occasions. So, that's a great thing. It
really is. Couples can get along. But in those cases where they can't, they obviously need a competent attorney representing them.
Yes.
Jennifer, yes. It's been fun to visit with you here this morning. And
great.
I appreciate your time. As you come to us from Dallas, where you tell me the temperature today is going to be about the same as our temperature here.
Yeah. How about